Hello, welcome to this Silver Linings moment with me, Wendy McVicker, Athens Poet Laureate. It is National Poetry Month, and I thought we could celebrate it by listening to poems by past U.S. Poets Laureate. I've read poems by some of these people, Robert Hayden, for example, and of course our current Poet Laureate, Joy Harjo, probably others in the course of the past year, but we're going to focus on those folks this month. And I would like to start with Ted Kooser, who was the U.S. Poet Laureate from 2004 to 2006. The first, I believe, this caused quite a splash because he was the first Great Plains poet, apparently, to be named Poet Laureate, although I think William Stafford from Kansas was also Poet Laureate at one time. So, go figure. In any case, he is Nebraska, where he, like Wallace Stevens, worked in an insurance company for his professional life. And he would apparently write in the morning before going into work. I read that he actually, more or less, whatever that means, flunked out of the graduate writing program at the University of Nebraska, which was when he decided he better figure out a way to make a living and went to work for the insurance company. And I suppose one of the things that I love about Ted Kooser's poems is that they are pithy. He uses very ordinary language, but his poems are so carefully crafted that there's nothing left over, nothing excess, and he celebrates everyday life. He said, in fact, I want to show people how interesting the ordinary world can be if you pay attention, which, what more do you have to say? So, what else did I want to say about that? Oh, he started a column when he was U.S. Poet Laureate called American Life in Poetry, and it was supposed to be a weekly newspaper column. You can now find it online. He edited it, finding poems and saying a few words about them for each issue, if you like. Kwame Dawes has just become the new editor of that series. So you can find it online, American Life in Poetry, if you would like to hear poems more than just Monday morning. So the poem I would like to read for you is from Ted Kooser's book, Delights and Shadows, and it is a poem called A Jar of Buttons. I've loved this poem for years. It celebrates an ordinary thing. Not only an ordinary thing, but ordinary and necessary work of replacing and repairing buttons on garments. Many of us had mothers or grandmothers with jars, or in the case of my grandmother, a tin of buttons that I loved to play with as a small child, buttons of all colors and sizes and shapes and textures. So somebody said that Ted Kooser kind of has ended up being an elegist for a way of life in America. He doesn't set out to write elegies. He just celebrates ordinary life, some aspects of which have disappeared. I hope people are still sewing buttons back onto their garments. In any case, this is A Jar of Buttons. This is a core sample from the floor of the Sea of Mending. A cylinder packed with shells that over many years sank through fathoms of shirts, pearl buttons, blue buttons, and settled together beneath waves of perseverance, an ocean upon which generations of women set forth under the sails of gingham curtains and seated side by side on decks sometimes salted by tears, made small but important repairs. Ted Kooser, A Jar of Buttons. Thank you for being with me, Wendy McVicker, Athens Poet Laureate. Pay attention. You will find ordinary life interesting, I hope.